Let's be real here. Roblox Doors, though it's a hugely popular game, is definitely not perfect by any means necessary. Lots of mistakes have been found not only within the game, but also within the developer's circle as well. These are the biggest mistakes that Doors have ever made. What would be one that you'd fix? Let us know down below and let's get exposing. Number 1, broken release. As most know, Doors was released back on August 10th of 2021 after nearly over a year at work and developing the game's infrastructure. This release, though was huge, also did met with quite a surprise along with it. The moment the game was finally released, the Roblox platform decided to crash, providing the infamous service unavailable error. Of course, Lsplash had to meme on it saying that their launch is doing great. Looking back, August 10th was on a Wednesday, and apparently not a lot of people were playing on the platform on that day, with an average of 5.2 million concurrent players recorded. Things got even worse, especially as many people didn't notice that Doors was even on the Roblox games page. Even Lsplash had to make a remark to this again, saying, for some reason, searching up Doors in games doesn't even show the game? Anyone know how I'd fix this? It's not really the developer's fault for such a buggy release, but things did end up getting better as the game was able to hit 2 million visits and peak at 10,000 players just 2 days after its release. A job well done, I'd say, especially for those who worked hard on the game. Number 2, glitches. Especially with Roblox Doors being an alpha released game, which is actually considered to be super early on and far from its supposed finalized version, there's obviously going to be tens if not hundreds of glitches to be found throughout the game's history, some including the more memorable ones such as the famous heartbeat minigame spam glitches, or the more secretive ones such as receiving glitch at rooms 99 through 100, which would have actually soft-locked the game, sadly enough. Though the game can be quite buggy at times, depending on which server that you play on, the release of Doors during this time was crucial to the game's success. Though it could have been at the expense of the polished up nature and what the game could have been if it wasn't released at this point. Number 3, update date. You already know we had to bring this up, especially since it did hype up a lot of the Doors community when it comes to the new Hotel Plus update that the game will be receiving sooner before you know. But originally, when the developers were posting many of these leaks teasing the update, they did have a soft release date set for December 2022, marking a major release during one of the busiest times of the year, right in the middle of the holidays. Unfortunately, this update was not released during the proposed time, being pushed back to January, which left many within the community unhappy and even combative in some cases as well. I mean, hey, the developers are working non-stop, as you can see Lsplash literally living on studio these past couple days in order to make this release happen, but I personally wouldn't have posted a proposed date until everything was finalized in order to have the update released as planned. It's definitely a mistake I bet the developers have learned, especially as of recently. Number 4, limited options. Settings. Many Roblox games have them, and it's quite an important feature to have. Aside from the Roblox player settings, having a custom set of in-game ones in order to give further control to players should have been at the top of the developers' minds when creating Roblox Doors, but apparently it wasn't. The game does not feature any in-game settings panel in order to help players change simple things such as muting or lowering the gameplay music that goes on during the lobby or even during the seek chase as well, or the ability to change the background sounds separately. Heck, there's not even a place to check your stats in order to see how many times you've completed the game or how many total gold you've collected. I mean, we are able to do this with some help of a cool little gadget, and you guys could actually see how many times I was able to survive several entities and whatnot, which is actually cool. It looks like we've opened up 22,832 doors. That's actually pretty insane. But we do have good news. The developers have heard our cries about these said options, and they did show a sneak peek a while ago showcasing new settings and parameters to be added into the next Doors update. So we just have to be a little patient, and this mistake would be completely reversed. Number 5, voice servers. This was definitely a feature that KreekCraft has been wanting, especially whenever they stream the game trying to troll little baby mamas playing the game. But ever since Roblox introduced the concept of voice chat into the game, this has brought the idea of adding in voice chat only servers dedicated to just players who have this feature enabled. Voice chat does make the game quite a bit more fun and interesting, especially being able to communicate in real time and whatnot, but the developers were not able to add this feature in during the release of the game. Recently, they have created polls teasing at the addition of these servers within the next update for the game, and I'm sure that would make KreekCraft quite happy, as they can finally troll more players easier in the future. Number 6, VIP controls. Honestly, this is one of the biggest suggestions for the game. I would personally vouch for this as well, but the fact that the developers have not added in any controls for VIP servers as of yet is pretty disappointing, considering how many players would be able to manipulate and change the game to their own personal liking. From changing parameters such as the damage percentages for each entity, to even possibly spawning them on command whenever you wanted to, that would give players the ability to create their own versions of hardcore mode in order to make the game infinitely times more fun for many months to come. This also brings the possibility of a room builder mode where players could submit their rooms to be featured in the official game as well, adding more rooms to the game and making it automated for the developers to focus on other game features. That would truly be life-changing for them. Of course, we had to go through a mini number 7, and that is going to be just community engagement. They have done a great job communicating what's going on through their Twitter profiles, but more polls asking what the players would like to see in the game, and definitely a suggestions channel within the Discord server would give the developers more ideas in order to implement them into future updates. I mean, what would you like to see the Doors developers do? Do you agree with some, if not all of these mistakes? Let's talk about it down below, and I wish you a great day.